And I'm here on behalf of Respect My Region. This is the Midwest Cannabis Podcast. And today I am featuring the Bedford Grow crew. I have Katarina, Rozzy, and Chris here joining us. And you guys each have a specialty within the company. So, kind of introduce yourself and what's your guys' specialty in the company?
Awesome. I'll start us off. Hi, I'm Katarina, and I handle the sales and marketing for Bedford Grow.
I'm Rozzy. I help within the sales and then also I'm the trim manager in production.
Okay.
And my name's Chris, and I would be the lab manager for Bedford Grow.
Lab manager in Bedford Grow. And so let's start out. Obviously, guys, we're in the Midwest, and you guys are here in the state of Illinois, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, and I'm based in Chicago, just so everybody knows. I know this is the first episode, so I guess we can kind of dive into kind of Illinois cannabis things and what's happening around here. What is, I guess, getting started or as a company, what's some of the things that you guys are challenged with, I guess, day to day? I would say other than regulation, because of course we all know that regulation is super tough, but what are some day to day challenges for you guys?
Right, of course. Well, kind of just to start out for, those of us who don't know us at Bedford Grow, we are one of the only independent and female-owned and operated cultivations in the state.
Okay.
We take great pride in that.
Yeah.
Um, so, one of the biggest challenges for us is just keeping up to date. This is an ever-evolving industry, and so you constantly have to focus not only on the day-to-day, but on what's happening 6 months from now, a year from now, or even 2 years from now, in order to kind of keep up with the industry and all the innovations that are constantly happening, which is always very exciting for us too.
Right. Right.
Um,
And oh, go ahead.
oh,
Sorry.
no, you're sorry. And the only other kind of big challenge I would say is that working in a industry that deals with plants and can sometimes be a little bit repetitive in terms of harvesting it every this day or trimming every this day, just trying to
Mhm.
find ways to keep it fresh and new and fun for everyone that works for us.
And what are some ways that you guys like kind of keep it fun, would you say?
Well, we have a lot of different things that we do, but
Okay.
we always like to have the opportunity for upward movement within the company is probably our biggest draw.
Okay.
We definitely are loyal. Once you start working for us, we will do everything we can to keep you with us for the long term, move you up and into different departments and work with you. Is always probably our go-to, but also just keeping it fun in the back, swag, music,
Right.
party days, pizza parties, that kind of stuff.
Got it. Do you guys have like a product that you're known for? Do you have like a signature product or a signature couple products that you guys want to discuss?
Ooh, that's a tough one because I feel like
Okay.
all of our products are so known. But I
Okay.
guess if I really have to pick one, it's going to be our edibles. So
Okay.
we are the High Times Cannabis Cup Edible Champion in Illinois. Um,
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. We are very pleased and honored. Both in 2021 and 2020, we won first place in all the edible categories, even
Oh,
second
wow.
place a couple times. So our edibles really speak for themselves. They're super, super delicious. And probably what's the biggest draw is, not only the potency, but also the fact that they're uh, very delicious in the sense that they don't have any of that like cannabis like aftertaste.
Okay.
It just tastes like you're eating a straight piece of candy, which is great.
And
Got you.
I'd have to vote on the texture.
Oh,
I've tried probably every single edible nationwide, and
Hmm.
the texture that just explodes in your mouth of like a Jello jiggler,
Uh,
it makes it easy. It makes it nice.
oh, wow. That sounds nice. That sounds nice. And so I also wanted to talk to you guys about the extraction. And so you guys have oils and dabs available on your menu as well, correct?
Yep.
yes.
Absolutely.
And is here in Illinois, is that tough to sell, would you say? Are there a lot of people here? Is there a big demand for them? Or is it kind of still trying to convince people that this is normal or this is what you might enjoy and things like that?
I think that the market in particular is still maturing within the state, but I think that the dab culture here is moving pretty rapidly, especially with rec coming on a couple of years back. So, yeah, I would say that initially in the market, you saw a lot of shatter, a lot of crumble. Now textures have kind of crept towards some more quality top tier material. So
Okay.
a lot of batters, a lot of sauce that is in the market now. I'd say a lot of fresh frozen material as well. And I think that customers in general are usually interested, in seeing the representation of the flower in concentrate form,
Hmm.
uh, and then on top of that, cartridges with, when we go ahead and add our CO2 terps back to our CO2 oil, that seems to be pretty popular. But moving in the direction of making sauce carts. So the HTE fraction we collect from our hydrocarbon runs, that seems to be
Okay.
really flavorful and get a good demand as well. So yeah.
Yeah,
Y'all have a
and I
lot of
think
options.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think as the Illinois consumer base is starting to become more educated on cannabis and its uses and the different ways you can smoke it and consume it, you are getting more and more people interested in concentrates and dabbing and the fun behind it and kind of wanting to know what's in it and all of that.
Oh, absolutely. And it's crazy as legalization opens up, how there is no real like stereotype of like a cannabis consumer or anything like that. Like a lot of people want to put it in a box, but you walk in a dispensary, you see all types of people like walking in and out with all the different options now that are available like for everybody.
Absolutely.
I love that. And that's like my greatest hope is as this industry continues to expand and grow in Illinois is that we're able to change the narrative and the stigma away from that stereotype, like, and to show people that it's everyone. It's the everyday person who uses it, for fun or for help if they need it.
Right, right. And are you guys are pretty much all over the state of Illinois and dispensaries all over the state, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Is it hard to get into different dispensaries or into new dispensaries? Is that something that's difficult to do?
I would say not really, just because Illinois is such a kind of closed market at this
Mm,
time. There is a bit of camaraderie. We all kind of know each other and respect one another, which is really great. And I feel like you don't
mhm.
see that maybe in other industries as much as you do in this one,
I bet.
which is really awesome.
Yeah.
But as the new licenses that are coming online, hopefully sometime soon. I know it's been delayed a couple times.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but it'll all just be about building relationships with those new licensees and getting into those stores. And luckily we are one of the original 55 from when the medical program first started, so we've kind
Okay.
of been had our foot in the door since the very beginning, and we hope to keep with that as it continues to grow.
And would you guys be looking to get into like a storefront or anything like that, or would you like to stay kind of distributing to other dispensaries at this point?
So we actually do have 4 vertically integrated dispensaries
Oh,
associated
okay.
with Bedford Grow under our parent company,
I
and
see.
that is the Merbis stores.
Okay.
So those are our associated dispensaries, but we don't discriminate against any other dispensary who wants to have
Right.
us on their shelves. We'll very happily provide you with product if you want it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Would you guys be also looking to kind of expand outside of Illinois? I honestly don't know what that process looks like, but is that something that would be in the future for you guys or?
I mean, maybe. I don't want to say no because you never know what the future will hold. But I think
Right.
as of right now, we're just focusing on expanding the operation that we have.
I see.
Kind of like I said in the beginning, we are just your, locally owned independent. And so
Mhm.
kind of just building ourselves up internally first before starting to make bigger moves. I think
Of
is the
course.
plan for us now. I mean, of course, you do have all the multi-state operators, like Cresco and stuff
Mhm.
like that, who are all across the nation. And it would be amazing if Bedford could one day get to that level.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that'd be really cool to see. And what would you say, would you like for people who go into the dispensary, they see your products or they see other products on the shelf? Do you see any kind of general misconceptions that you feel like should be cleared up with some customers and things like that, or things that people are worried about when they walk into the store?
I think all three of us could agree on potency.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
We are big terpene profiles. We're really big on understanding the cannabinoid system within our bodies to help break down that medicinal value of the plant itself, from the different terpene profiles to the different ailments that you receive. So there's products out there that, may test at 5-10% even, but really can, have such a strong beneficial form to your body itself. So there's quite a few strains that I know we produce that are, in the lower numbers, but, are really still such a strong beneficial for all medicinal use and basic recreational use.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
then
it's, go
oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to jump in. I
Of
think
course.
that kind of is just circling back to the whole fact that that the consumer is still becoming educated within the market too. And
Mhm.
early on with any market, people really shop by numbers. They're looking for the most potent product, but that doesn't necessarily mean the most effective. The entourage effect is very real depending on the strain that you're picking.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
I think that all strains are going to have specific effects, and you might not be looking for the most potent product to get the most effective use out of it, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, and just to reiterate what Ross says, yeah, we have a lot of terpene rich profiles here, so yeah, a lot of sauce that we're making. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
And like something that's great about BG is that we don't use any third-party terpenes. All of
Okay.
our products are done just with in-house terpenes, and that really allows us to put together the truest representation of our strain for our customers too.
Got you. And you kind of leading me into it, Chris, that my next question, which is where do you see the market growing? I know we talked a little bit about how they're about to start releasing eventually some new license in Illinois, but do you guys see any major changes, or do we kind of see how is it going to stay consistent, do you think, with how it's been so far?
I think I think eventually that the market's going to continue to open up, even though craft licensing has been stagnant for a while. Sooner or later it's going to give. You'll see more competitors in the market. You'll see more craft cannabis out, but when it comes to the concentrates, I think that you're going to see further refinement of the products that are already out there. What's the newest tech we can come out with to produce a product that's going to really wow consumers and draw their attention. I think you're going to see a lot more beverages come on the market as well. That's something that a few MSOs are kind of moving towards right now. But yeah, as time progresses, I think that's what you'll see. And then within the market too, I think you're going to see more regulation, not in a bad way, but I think that you're going to see as the federal government starts to become a little bit more relaxed, that hopefully you'll see a little bit more of the loosening of licensing, and also just more regulation from an operator standpoint. So
I
Yeah.
see. Like,
Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
I'm
No, go
sorry.
ahead.
I don't mean to. Oh, I was just
No
going to
problem.
say, I agree with Chris. I think it's going to continue to grow and expand. Obviously, Illinois is already kind of one of the most regulated states. And so there's restrictions in that sense. But, with all the new licenses and grows emerging, I think there's really an opportunity for other independents and small businesses like us to kind of make their mark and get into this industry, kind of very much in the American dream style of,
Yeah.
Let's
starting
make it bigger. Let's make it better.
Yeah, and starting something from the ground up, and seeing that come to life before you, but of course there's also the flip side of that with the very corporate side of the industry, particularly on the national scale, which we're already kind of seeing happen in the market today. So
Yeah.
really, we would love it to see some more independents and small businesses that really have their chance to shine as the industry expands.
And I guess from like a marketing standpoint, how do you get your voice heard as a small business? How d- how do you advertise? I know obviously you have to have some social media and stuff like that, but how do you guys usually operate with that?
Right. So it is a bit of a gray area just because of the regulations, of course.
Okay.
As a cultivator, there's a lot more restrictions on advertising than on the
Uh,
dispensary side of things. But again, a lot
oh,
of it is, like you said, social media, doing pop-ups and events at dispensaries, pamphlets, even something as simple as, our packaging, making sure it has, special information about who we are as a company or links where you could learn more. And really just trying to educate people about who we are and what it is that we do.
okay.
Yeah.
And I meant to ask you earlier, where can people find you? Like what's the best platforms and what's the handle for people to find you guys
Everywhere.
at? Okay.
I wish I had my QR code ready. I could just hold it up
Okay.
for everybody to scan. But we're on Facebook and we're on Instagram. Our Facebook is just Bedford Grow. Our Instagram is Bedford_Grow_IL.
Okay.
And our website as well is a great resource. It's just our name, www.bedfordgrow.com. But, for a lot of those people who don't really understand cannabis or how it works or, what it does physiologically, our website has a wealth of information that breaks all of that down, even down to the little different cannabinoids and such. And so, it is a great tool for people who are interested in learning more, and also kind of knowing what's next. Like if they want to get a med card, what are those steps, and what different things could qualify them for a med card and stuff like that.
I see. That's cool. And on the social media side, have you guys had any issues as a company on the social media? I know some companies never have any issues and some are constantly having issues. Have you guys had those problems?
Luckily, knock on wood, we have not
Oh,
so
that's
far.
good.
I know of some companies or dispensaries who have had their pages shut down. It is always, unfortunately, something that is looming in the back of our minds as we make
Mhm.
our posts, trying to be conscientious of that, and just kind of hoping that, people understand and respect where we're coming from on the social side, to educate and show what it is we do. And, obviously, help just better showcase our products and who we are.
Okay. Okay. And
Happy
do you
420.
guys, sorry, do you guys have any products maybe coming up that you guys are excited about that you kind of would like to talk about or can talk about? Do you have any on the horizon?
Um, we have lots of things in the works. I don't want to say
Okay.
too much because
Okay.
obviously it's still in the
I
early
understand. Yeah. Or
stages.
maybe something that recently dropped.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I will tell you about, we recently launched a new edible flavor. It's our citrus twist gems. Those are really awesome. They have a bright citrusy flavor of
Okay.
mandarin, lemon, and grapefruit. And we also recently launched our live sauce applicators. So we've had success with our regular applicators, and so now you're going to start seeing some live sauce coming out in those, and further expansions of different concentrates, textures, as we continue to grow that as well. At least, so those are two new things that are out and available for people to get now that are recent.
Okay.
And definitely just keep an eye on our socials if you're interested in seeing about what's coming up next. We'll post it out on there too. But fun things, I will say, in the edibles department, and that's all I will say.
I got you. That's exciting. That's exciting.
I will have to say that we've got fun things coming from Grow as
Yeah,
well.
of course.
We won't give too much details, obviously, for that.
Mhm.
But we've been working on a lot of new stuff and really trying to help, emphasize the industry at giving more while still not retracting from our quality because we are 100% hand trimmed. We really put every love into every nook and cranny of every plant that processes. So the new stuff coming is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
As far as the lab is concerned, we get to run a lot of really fun strains in there too, and a lot of the new stuff that we're working on is really nice. I can say like some of the strains, right? I would assume, right?
Yeah.
So like yellow brick,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yellow brick, hot and Sunday, Gabi, like all those live batters are really great. I would definitely give them a look at the store if you have the time.
I was actually smoking some Gabi live batter last night before bed.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh, this is so good.
And you guys mentioned that you also have done some pop-ups and events. Do you guys have, it's summertime in Illinois, so I'm sure you guys have had some type of pop-up stuff this summer. Do you guys have any more planned for the year?
Oh, yes, we do. We do. And actually, I'm very happy to say that we are expanding our sales team and our brand ambassador team too, so that, we'll be much more of a presence on the dispensary side going forward, which will be really exciting for us and for fans of Bedford. We'll definitely have some cool swag to be handing out to people. But, just off of the top of my head, I have 3 events lined up just for the next 2 months. So definitely you'll be seeing us more and more as time goes on, which is exciting.
Now, that's cool. I know, like I said, out here, there's been so much stuff going on because in Illinois, everything has to be kind of compressed into 4 months of fun. So I figured you guys had some stuff going on.
Yeah.
That's not true. We go all year round.
I hear you, but I'm just, you know what I mean.
The weed warms people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I guess kind of as we're starting to wrap up, what would you guys say as Bedford Grow, as internal people at Bedford Grow, you feel kind of separates you guys from some of the other strains or just other companies out there and some of the other extraction companies as well?
Yeah, well, I mean, love, of course, but just, off the top of my head, kind of the things I mentioned earlier, female owned, local independent, we're also family owned, our founder, born and raised on the South Side. But more than that, kind of touching on what Razzie was saying earlier about hand trimming, we focus way more on quality over quantity. So everything is hand trimmed, hand packaged, handmade, even down to the little cookie bits inside of our cookies and cream chocolate. It's all done by us inside the facility, by our hands. And so we really put the love and care into everything we do. Everything gets seen by our staff. And so, I hope that people know that when they see our logo on their products, they know they're getting clean, quality, reliable products to consume.
And if people want to find where they can kind of find your products, where's the best place for them to kind of get that resource?
Definitely. Well, just off the top of my head, I'd have to say our integrated stores, the Maribuses, there's 2 in Chicago and 2 in Springfield. We probably send out deliveries once a week or about with new product. All of our newest product goes to those dispensaries first as well. So that's always my go-to if someone's very specifically looking for Bedford. But a lot of dispensaries in the state do carry us. So, just hop on the internet and
on your website, I believe you can go on your website and you can kind of see a list of the stores that carry most of your products, right?
Exactly.
Yep. And there's so many platforms now that integrate not only the dispensary information, but also our strain specific information. So if you're looking and you happen to find something of Bedford Grow products, you can kind of look into those different platforms and see what the original lineage is, what the average potency is, and then where you can find it. So it makes it, really user friendly to be able to use these different sites to find the product that you're looking for specifically.
Got you. Thank you. Yeah, because I know a lot of people, even with Illinois having it a few years at this point, I feel like it's still a little bit like of a learning process for a lot of people to kind of figure out where they can find what products and at what dispensary and stuff like that. So I kind of like to make it clear for everybody when they're looking for Bedford Grow products, is kind of where they can find you guys.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean, I hope, and that's another thing that I hope is becomes more clear as the industry continues to grow, is, more of these platforms come out and the information, it just continues to become more readily available to everybody, which would be great.
Well, guys, I really appreciate you joining us on the Midwest. You guys are the first episode, actually, so I'm actually really happy that you guys.
Yeah, thank you. That's so awesome.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed talking to you guys. Is there anything else that you guys want to kind of touch on and that I missed maybe on Bedford Grow? And if not,
I'm
okay.
thinking off the top of my head, well, maybe if we want to go around and just kind of say what our favorite BG product is.
Let's do
If you want to
that.
make some
Yeah,
recommendations, because
absolutely, absolutely.
I'm an indica girl myself. I love indicas. So for me, our strain, the Mothership, is my favorite. Anytime I know it's being harvested, I'm like first in line at the dispensary to pick some up. It's so good. What about you?
That one's a little harder for me. I've gone through thousands and thousands of different genetics. I've
Okay.
seen so many. But in-house, I'd have to say the Lou's Legacy. I love the euphoria of it. It's an uplifting, euphoric high with a good body buzz, but it's got that original kind of Northern Lights haze flavor. And that's always my go-to is, as long as it's got strong flavor, I can keep smoking as much as I need anyways.
And what's your favorite way to consume? Like, how do you like to consume it?
I'm a sucker for Puffco, unfortunately,
Yeah,
but
same.
This is not a paid advertisement.
So electronic vaporizing,
Uh-huh.
but no, easy joints I think is still also my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Katarina? What's your favorite way to consume?
Oh man. Well, to be honest, Razi recently just got me into the Puffco. Again,
Okay.
I mean electronic rigs. But I've always been a flower gal myself,
Okay.
nothing beats a nice rolled one, to be honest.
I hear you.
With
I
a
hear you. What
little
about you,
swag
Chris?
with our dablicator on the outside, little keef on the top. Perfect.
Hell yeah. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, so as far as products that we got that I really like for edibles, cookies and cream, chocolate, hands down, fire.
Okay.
And then as far as flower goes, I would have to say the wild berry breath is really nice. It's a cool punch breath cross in house. Really good nose, super frosty, and really good smoke overall. And then for concentrates, I would say the Hot Mint Sunday live batter.
That one.
We got the whole facility talking.
I know. Everyone was at the back like, oh my God, have you seen the Hot Mint Sunday?
The electric lemonade too. I like the sauce on that. I mean, the name just hits it right on the head. It's just like country time lemonade, the dab. And then as far as the effects go, more on the sativa side, a little clearer of a high, but the flavor is really nice. And then as far as the way I like to consume, if I'm smoking flower, it's definitely joints. Okay. And then if it's concentrates, I'm also a Puffco user.
I have one as well. I understand. It's so convenient, so easy.
The innovation in it, I think, is really going to emphasize on us as concentrate users in general. We really love that terpene profile, that flavor. So really just getting a strong element that can help us absorb that, I think, is amazing.
Yeah. And we also, just in 2021, we placed second place for our Highwayman Live Resin Concentrate.
Okay.
Good job, and so, and a lot of the strains that Chris recently just mentioned are all new to Bedford, either recently released or about to be released. So, definitely lots of exciting things to come. And, something else that's great about us is because we do everything from seed. We never bring in clones. We really have a lot of creativity in terms of, making in-house strains and genetics and stuff like that, which is kind of what you're going to be seeing. But also maybe some people are already familiar with like our grape sugar cookie strain, which is just delicious. It's so tasty, like genuinely tasty. As soon as you open that jar, you know exactly what strain it is. And so, just creating more interesting and fun to smoke strains like that, but also at the same time, keeping in mind our medical origins as a medical facility and making sure that there's still product out there to help those with symptom relief if they need it, or as an alternative therapy to like opioids or stuff like that. Is more holistic approach. That's very much how we got our foundation. And so something we want to continue to bring forward, even as the industry becomes more recreational and more kind of focused on the fun side of it. We also just want to remember that, we're also here to help people feel better at the end of the day.
I agree. That's so important. the most important thing to remember, in my opinion, is that it is here to help people. At the very end of the day, it's fun and all that, but it can definitely help so many people.
Yeah.
And so,
And
guys, go ahead.
oh no, I'm
No,
sorry.
no,
We're
no, no
chatting. We
worries.
can
I know we can
going.
keep talking all day, get us on a roll. Well, I just one more thing I'd like to mention before you
Of
close us
course.
out is kind of bringing this medical talk back is the strain that Razi mentioned, Blue's Legacy, actually has a very interesting origin story behind it. And the name of that strain was done in honor of our founder's late brother, Lou. And so it was named after him, Lou Dineff, or his name is Lou Dineff, was named after him, Lou's Legacy. And
Okay.
so, when this program was first getting started in the state, he unfortunately fell ill, and a lot of doctors recommended medical cannabis for him, but it wasn't legal, and being fearful of its legalities, he stayed away from it, and unfortunately, wasn't able to access it before he
Mhm.
passed. And so when our founder got our facility up and running, and designed a strain for symptom relief, she knew she wanted to name it in honor of her brother, who wasn't able to find relief through this alternative medicine. And so, just making sure that that wouldn't be the case for anybody else going forward was really kind of how we got our start, and the foundation behind our mission, which is just to help people suffering from a variety of health issues, find a viable alternative to prescription medication.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great way to wrap it up. I appreciate it. Bedford Grow team, for real. That's a very cool story, a very cool reason to be doing this and be in the industry. So I definitely appreciate you guys for operating in the state that I live in. And I appreciate you guys for kind of just doing what you do day to day, because I definitely know it's not easy in the state of Illinois to operate the business that you guys operate. So I appreciate
Easy
you guys.
cake.
Yeah. No, thank you. The appreciation means so much, especially, as us as a small business. I mean, when people can recognize all the hard effort that we put into it from day one to the time it's in your hands, it just means the most to us. And that's really why we do what we do. And so thank you so much. And thank you for having us as your first guest. I mean, what an honor.
Absolutely.
We are just so appreciative. Thank you.
Absolutely. And guys, anybody tuning in, we appreciate you for joining us on this first episode of the Midwest Cannabis Podcast. We'll see you guys later.